When I turned 30, I was forcibly assigned an alpha partner. That alpha didn't look very old and seemed really pissed off. On the first day of our marriage, he glared at me and said, "Don't even think I'll ever fall for you." I nodded and agreed cheerfully. But later, he stormed into a bar, crying and refusing to let go of me. "Brooks, we're still married. If you're seeing someone else, that's cheating." 1. When it comes to my marriage, I honestly feel helpless. Unlike others who marry for love, mine was completely forced. I didn't even meet my assigned partner until the day before the wedding. There was nothing I could do, it's a federal rule. If an Omega hits 30 and still isn't married, they get assigned a partner. And that partner is randomly chosen from a database of unmarried alphas. That's why most Omegas rush to fall in love and marry early. Just to avoid being force-matched like I was. It's not that I don't care about marriage at all. The truth is, I've been single this long because I don't fit the usual standards of beauty. These days, alphas like their Omegas soft and delicate. But I'm completely the opposite. I'm 6 feet tall with a full set of abs, which pretty much guarantees I'd stay single forever. Not that I never had people chase after me. But they were almost always other Omegas or Betas. The line I heard the most was, "If only you were an alpha." Every time I heard that, all I could do was smile bitterly. But for now, I had to deal with the person in front of me. Rubbing my temples, I felt a rare headache coming on. I took a deep breath, ran through my mental script, and opened the door. "You're Dawson, right?" "I'm Brooks. Not sure if you read my file yet. I'm your future Omega." As soon as I finished, I heard him scoff. If the old man hadn't uploaded my info behind my back, I wouldn't be stuck getting married at 20. He's only 20. I figured he was young, but I didn't expect him to be this young. Maybe he got embarrassed from the way I was sizing him up, because he suddenly jumped to his feet. "Don't even think I'll fall for you. I like sweet and soft Omegas, not someone like you, cold and stiff, totally not cute." He was clearly lashing out for no reason. I figured he was just projecting his anger at his dad onto me. Still, I was 10 years older than him, I should be the more mature one. After all, he was still a kid. If that's your choice, I respect it. But since we're married, don't I get to have some say, too? Dawson clearly didn't expect me to stay so calm. He looked at me with a confused expression. "What do you mean, some say? For example, are you planning to fulfill your basic marital duties?" 2. The next second, there was a loud thud as Dawson fell off his chair with his legs still crossed. His face flushed bright red, and he stammered, You're an Omega, how could you say something so shameless?" Still a child after all. Already blushing. "I'm 30, and I go into heat every month. As my husband, isn't it your responsibility to help me through it?" I already said I don't like you." Honestly, that was a lot more innocent than I expected. With all his piercings and cocky attitude, I'd pegged him as a playboy. Turns out, he embarrasses pretty easily. Kind of makes me feel a bit more hopeful about this ridiculous marriage. I mean, how much worse can it get, right? "So, are you saying you want me to cheat?" I kind of wanted to mess with this young alpha a bit. "What's wrong with you?" Sure enough, Dawson immediately jumped up in frustration. "Didn't you say you weren't willing? Then you're basically hoping I'll sleep with someone else." Hearing that, his lips moved for a while, but he couldn't get a word out. Yup, not the sharpest tool in the shed. But at least he's got a decent face, pretty much my type. Anyway, I'm going to bed. "Wait, what?" I didn't bother with his stunned expression and headed straight to the bathroom for a shower. When I came out, I realized I'd forgotten to bring my pajamas, so I just threw on a robe. While towel-drying my hair, I said to Dawson, "If you don't want to share a bed, you can sleep in the guest room tonight." He didn't respond for a while. Maybe he already left? But when I turned my head, he was standing there frozen. And that gaze? I followed his line of sight down. Right to the open front of my robe. "Like what you see?" 3. Who's looking at you? You're just. Seeing how flustered he looked, I couldn't help but burst out laughing. Dawson muttered under his breath, "It's your fault for not wearing proper clothes." What, never dated before? I honestly thought someone like him, pampered and reckless, would have played around plenty by now. But Dawson went oddly silent for a few seconds. Then, with his ears turning red, he still insisted stubbornly, "Of course I have. Do I look like someone who hasn't dated? Unlike you. Bet alphas never gave you the time of day." That actually hit a sore spot. I don't usually care about that stuff. But back when I was younger, I did crave a little romantic attention. At the end of the day, I'm just an ordinary man. I've got the same wants and desires as anyone else. So naturally, my expression turned cold, and I told him to leave. "It's late. Go sleep in the next room." "What's that supposed to mean? You're kicking me out?" I really didn't understand why he was so upset. Wasn't he the one who kept saying he didn't want to be here? But I was exhausted and in no mood to deal with his childish tantrums. "Fine, Brooks. I'm leaving. You think I care about staying with you?" He slammed the door behind him, leaving the room suddenly quiet. I felt a little regret. Why did I act like some immature kid too, losing my temper so easily? The next morning, I fried myself an egg and made some coffee like usual. The door to the other room was still closed, maybe he'd already left. I shook my head, refusing to dwell on it. There was a pile of work waiting for me today, and I had to pull myself together. But halfway through breakfast, I heard the door next door creak open. Dawson stepped out, hair a mess, wearing just a black tank top that showed off his toned arms. I raised an eyebrow and quietly admired his build. Seeing me calmly enjoying breakfast, Dawson shuffled over with a sulky look. "Is this how you treat your alpha?" "Oh? So now you're calling yourself my alpha? You?" His lips pressed tight, and after a long pause, he muttered, "I'm hungry." I blinked at him. "If you're hungry, just eat, why tell me?" I said I'm hungry. "I don't have any money on me," he added in a small voice. "Didn't your family have money?" "4. That's all because of you." Dawson gritted his teeth and shot me a look like he wanted to bite me. Just because I refused the marriage, my old man froze all my cards. I was running late for work, so I just grabbed a few bills and handed them to Dawson. "Go buy something to eat. Don't go around saying I starved you. You're just gonna leave like that?" At the entryway, I was bending over to put on my shoes. Behind me, Dawson stood there with his arms crossed, acting like some spoiled young master. I sighed. "Sorry, Your Highness. Some of us have jobs. Not everyone can lounge around like you." He looked a bit embarrassed. After a long pause, he turned and walked off in a huff. The whole day, I felt uneasy. I couldn't help it, there was still a whole living person at home. And one who clearly had zero survival skills. Just as I was checking a message that had come in a few minutes ago, I lost focus for a moment. Looks like I'll need to meet my dear father-in-law soon. Team lead, want to grab lunch together? Right as I reached the door, Easton called out from behind me. He was one of my interns, pretty decent guy. But thinking of the person waiting at home, I smiled and turned him down. "Can't. Someone's waiting for me." Easton looked at me strangely. "Wait, you're seeing someone? You know the stupid federal rule. Our team lead's already 30, he probably got automatched." A senior colleague winked at Easton and threw an arm around his shoulder. "Relax. Let the team lead enjoy his newlywed bliss. I'll keep you company." "You really got married? How come no one heard anything?" What could I say, that the guy couldn't care less about me? That'd be pathetic. We're still figuring things out. I'll tell you once things settle down. Ignoring Easton's attempt to hold me back, I rushed off. But when I got home and saw the state of the place, I nearly lost it. "Dawson, did you blow up the house or something?" 5. When I yelled, the culprit finally showed up. He was wearing an apron and holding a spatula. I was cooking. What kind of cooking looks like this? Is there even a place left to stand? I took off my blazer with a headache, rolled up my sleeves, and grabbed the spatula from him. The moment I stepped into the kitchen, I started coughing from the smoke. Cough, cough, cough. Did you bomb the kitchen? Dawson stood there with his head down, looking guilty. I just followed the online recipe. I glanced at the burnt, unidentifiable mess in the pan. Yeah, zero credibility. Forget it. I washed my hands and slipped my blazer back on. Let's eat out. Okay. Wait, why do you smell like another alpha? I jumped when he suddenly leaned in. Dawson had somehow ended up right behind me, sniffing at the side of my neck. The warm breath on my skin made my ears heat up, so I pushed him away without thinking. There are alphas at work. That's normal. Oh, so you get pretty close with them, huh? Can you not twist everything I say? I sniffed myself, everything smelled fine to me. Are alphas part bloodhound or something? Or does he just enjoy picking fights with me? On the way to the restaurant, Dawson stayed quiet. He leaned against the car door, looking a little pitiful despite his size. We're here. Get out. I picked a spot I frequented. The owner knew me well and waved the moment he saw me. Hey, Brooks. Grabbing a bite today? Where's Easton? Dawson was still a few steps behind, so the owner assumed I'd come alone. Before I could answer, an arm slid around my waist. He's with me. You two are partners. Friends. 6. So, in his mind, we were just friends? I gave a mocking smile and firmly pulled my hand away from his grip. Aren't you hungry? Eat quickly then. Seeing me push him aside, Dawson's face flickered with a hint of regret. But in the end, he said nothing and quietly sat down across from me. As I flipped through the menu, I could feel his sharp gaze fixed on me. Like trying to explain himself, he said, just now, It's fine. It's just a name, isn't it? My calmness seemed to put him at ease. Good that you understand. Looks like I need to consider divorce. If he's this unwilling, there's no point in me chasing after him. Although his looks do appeal to me, I'm not going to force feelings. Waiter, same as usual. Bring one of everything here. Isn't this dish a bit too bland? Dawson frowned while looking at the food on the table. I've always preferred light flavors. Getting older, can't handle heavy tastes. That's true. But you don't really look 10 years older than me. Dawson propped his head up, half-lidded eyes watching me. That direct gaze actually made me step back a bit. Damn it, maybe it's been too long since I dealt with an alpha. I'm this easily rattled by someone like him. Team lead, you're here too. A familiar voice called out behind me. It was Easton and Edson. What a coincidence. I was about to say hi when Easton kept staring past me. And who's this? Friend, I cut in sharply, interrupting Dawson. Oh, a friend, huh? Team lead, want to share a table? So our dinner for 2 turned into a party of 4. That didn't bother me much, honestly. I didn't want to be alone with Dawson anyway. But I glanced sideways without meaning to, and the young alpha's expression was so sour it was hard to miss. You're an alpha, who the hell are you? That came out blunt and aggressive. Yes, Brooks is my team lead. He takes good care of me. Whether it was my imagination or not, Dawson seemed to grit his teeth after I said that. He forced a polite smile and warned carefully, you know he's an alpha, right? He's married. You'd better watch your step. 7. Dawson, what the hell's gotten into you? I frowned at him and stopped him from pushing further. Easton sat across from us with a calm expression, so I apologized a little. Sorry, he's always been hot-tempered. Don't take it personally. No worries, he's young. I get it, Easton said kindly, which made me breathe easier and appreciate his good nature. Don't blame it on age. You think you're that much older than me? Enough. I turned to Dawson, holding back my frustration. If you really don't want to eat, just leave. Brooks, you're kicking me out for him. Dawson growled angrily, but I ignored his sour face. To me, he was just throwing a childish tantrum. My silence made his expression even darker. Fine. I'm leaving. He grabbed his coat from the chair, brushed past me, and stirred up a gust of air. Having a meal end like that made me feel a bit sorry for the other two. I'll pay for this meal. Sorry about the trouble today. No problem, team lead. But is your friend always this casual? Easton tried to phrase it gently, which made me more awkward. Edson beside him gave a suggestive look, so I quickly changed the subject. It's late. I'll head back to rest. Oh, team lead, there's a project dinner tomorrow night. Are you coming? Hearing that gave me a headache. Too much going on lately, I almost forgot about that. Brooks, it's not right if you skip again. You dodge every year, you have to come this time. After a bit more urging, I couldn't refuse. When I got home, it was already 10 o'clock, and the place was pitch dark. No one was home. Forget it. What was I hoping for? Didn't I already decide to get a divorce? Life just keeps getting worse and worse. Dawson would probably be happy. After all, our marriage was just a forced federal arrangement anyway. As for my unseen father-in-law, I guess I don't have to meet him anymore. I gripped my phone and quickly typed a message. The ding showed it was sent successfully. Dawson, let's get a divorce. 8. The next day, I clocked in for work as usual. During a break, I stared at my phone's chat window. After a whole night, still no reply. What the hell is he doing? Drinking all night? Suddenly, a warm breath touched my cheek. Easton came over with a cup of coffee. Brooks, you seem off today. Didn't get enough rest? Thanks. I took the coffee. Yeah, maybe. Will you come to the dinner tonight? I smiled helplessly. Why, am I that unreliable to you? Good, then. I watched Easton's bright smile, chalking it up to young excitement over the dinner. I was distracted all day, thanks to that unanswered message. What was this, ghosting me? The private room was lit up with colorful lights, full of energetic young people. Thanks to the Federation's new suppressants, alphas and omegas could finally hang out in the same room. I touched the clear patch stuck behind my neck and felt unusual warmth in the gland area. But my heat cycles were always punctual, and this month's was still far off. Thinking that, I relaxed a bit. Brooks, want a drink? The multicolored lights played across Easton's face, which suddenly looked fierce despite his usual gentle features. That's when it hit me, he's an alpha. I smiled slightly and accepted the drink he offered. It looked pretty, definitely something young people liked. I finished it and felt a sweet taste on my tongue. It probably wasn't very strong. Nearby, the young interns all toasted me when they saw me take the drink so easily. After a while, even if the alcohol was light, I started feeling a little woozy. Rubbing my dizzy head, I asked Easton to help me by the shoulder. After washing my face, I finally cleared my head. Looking in the mirror, my face was flushed, definitely a bit out of control. Just as I was about to leave the room, my head spun and I stumbled forward. Brooks! Easton caught me with a worried shout. Brooks, are you okay? I felt heat rushing through me, a strong desire rising deep inside, the feelings so hot. Seeing I didn't respond, Easton supported me as we slowly moved forward. Suddenly, he stopped. Ahead stood a shadow, looking familiar. Dawson? Brooks, we're still married. You're cheating on me. 9. The crying tone immediately snapped me out of my drunken haze. Was he actually crying? What are you staring at? If she's your wife, help her up. Dawson was about to pull me over but was stopped by another hand. Are you that friend of Brooks? Who the hell is a friend? I'm his husband, legally certified, got it? Dawson's tone was fierce, but his eyes were red, especially under the light. Hearing this territorial declaration, Easton remained calm. Don't know, and don't want to know. Besides, it's just marriage, it's not like it can't be ended. The conversation ended with a punch from Dawson. My mind was soaked with alcohol, and my body was burning hot. All I knew was that Dawson picked me up. In the car, I struggled to open my eyes, meeting Dawson's gaze. Why did you come? Weren't we divorced? What divorce? I won't allow it, I don't agree, don't even think about leaving me. I felt moisture on my face and looked up. Dawson was in tears. No staring. The young alpha immediately covered his face, his voice muffled. Usually, I would find this vulnerability amusing, but now there were more urgent matters. Dawson, take me home quickly. I think my heat cycle is starting. The gland on my neck was already hot and swollen, and other places were uncomfortably wet. Hearing heat cycle, Dawson shuddered. After a moment's daze, he grabbed me up. My breathing quickened, my arms wrapped tightly around his neck, urging in his ear, faster. I can't hold on much longer. Dawson trembled but steadied himself, almost running as he carried me upstairs. Brooks, where's the key? In the pants pocket. I immediately felt his touch on my thigh, sensitive even through clothes. I shuddered, unsure what he'd touched. I must have looked a mess. Dawson quickly looked away like he was escaping. Hold on, okay, he said with difficulty. Click. Once inside, Dawson frantically searched for my suppressant. Brooks, where's your suppressant? Watching his broad-shouldered figure, I was strangely drawn closer. No suppressant. Aren't you my alpha? 10. The overwhelming pleasure made me forget about divorce for a moment. The alpha's natural pull on the omega had me leaning into him deeply. My hot cheek rubbed his neck, causing him to shiver. Why no scent? Release your pheromones. Dawson rolled his Adam's apple, not shying away like usual. Brooks, don't regret this. His muscles tensed on both arms, as if holding back something. I said nothing. Next, the scent of white peach oolong tea filled the room. You. I tore off the suppressant patch on my neck and licked my dry lips. Kiss me. The next second, he pinned me down on the sofa. Dawson urgently licked my neck, clearly desperate. Like a little puppy. I touched the alpha's face, which made him even more excited. Wife, kiss my glands, please. It hurts. Though alpha's words during heat aren't reliable, I softened at his pitiful look. He lowered his head submissively, offering his glands like a sacrifice to my lips. Suppressing my fear, I kissed him gently. Ugh. The strong whiskey scent was overwhelming and irresistible. My lingering drunkenness deepened under the whiskey's power. Feeling the alpha's possessiveness, I instinctively tried to pull back. But my weak body was no match. Dawson grabbed my wrist and pinned it. His low voice whispered in my ear, wife's being naughty, trying to run away. Ah, Dawson, you jerk, stop, stop. The chaotic pleasure swept through me, leaving me helpless. What's the rush? It's just begun. Enjoy it, baby. The scent of white peach oolong and whiskey mixed, filling the room with passion. 11. I woke up surprisingly dry, no discomfort at all. I was about to get up when hands at my waist pulled me back. Dawson's voice was sticky soft behind me, sleep a bit more. Thinking about last night's chaos, I wasn't exactly regretful. I had decided to let him go, but the warmth of his embrace made me reluctant to leave. Maybe just a little more sleep. What was supposed to be a short rest turned into sleep until 2 in the afternoon. My muscles still ached. I forced myself to get up. The spot beside me was cold. I opened the door and smelled food. Awake? Come eat something. Looking at the food, I still couldn't hide my doubt. You've improved a lot. Last time, you almost burned down the kitchen. Cough, cough. Dawson suddenly choked on his food. Seeing my doubt, he put on a tough front. I have talent, okay? I noticed the leftover takeout boxes in the corner but just smiled and didn't call him out. Thinking about the upcoming talk, I felt heavy inside. Dawson, about last night. What? Regretting it? You agreed to this. And you were the one pushing for it. As he spoke, Dawson suddenly blushed deeply and hastily ate to cover it up. Last night was an accident. I didn't expect my heat to come early. Brooks, don't tell me you just want to have sex and then ditch me. I don't get it. What's wrong with me? Am I not good looking enough or not fit enough that you keep pushing me away? Don't you say you don't like me? I asked calmly, remembering his words from our wedding day, don't expect me to like you. At that, his expression darkened immediately. You said you don't like omegas like me? Don't tell me you caught feelings while making love. Brooks. It's okay. I know my type rarely attracts alphas. It's normal. Who wants to marry an omega taller than him? Thinking of his youthful disgust, I grew sad. That word, disgusting, trapped me for a long time, making me afraid to like anyone easily. Maybe Dawson's innocence weakened my defenses, or maybe years alone made me tired. Anyway, I was the one who took the first step, and it's not too late to take it back. If we go now, we can still make it to divorce. I was about to get my papers from the room when I was tightly embraced from behind. I like you, Brooks. I like you. 12. Such a burning confession stirred my heart, but past experience kept me cautious. Dawson, you're still young. Maybe you don't understand the difference between desire and liking. What you feel for me is just an alpha's instinct for an omega. All that fluttering is just pheromones. Brooks, do you know what I hate most about you? Dawson's head pressed tightly against my shoulder, his shirt damp. I could faintly hear him sobbing. You always treat me like some clueless kid. Yes, I'm 10 years older, but I'm not dumb enough to confuse liking. You can't make me like you and then just throw me away. That's cruel, Brooks. You have to care for me. How to describe this moment? It felt like heaven. I was bubbling inside like sparkling water. As if fearing I wouldn't believe him, Dawson leaned in and kissed my lips. His kiss was urgent, like a puppy chewing its teeth. Just like last night, he really didn't know much. That's not kissing, I said, gently pushing him away, taking the lead and teasing him. Dawson got excited instantly, and before long, he had me pinned down. When the kiss ended, he held me, breathing hard. What does this mean, Brooks? You like me too, right? Seeing the hopeful look in his big, droopy eyes, I nodded. Yes, of course I like you. Then don't divorce me, please. You like me, I like you, why divorce? After the crisis passed, Dawson went back to his usual cocky self. Talking about Easton, he complained to me. He said divorce was okay, and you didn't even tell me. He looked like the kind of bad guy who steals other people's wives. Also, you never explained the smell on you when you came home, it was exactly like Easton's. So you're jealous? Not jealous. I just can't stand him. And you're my wife, stay away from those alphas. Hearing him call me wife repeatedly made me smile. You say it so easily. Why don't I ever hear you say it before? Husband. 13. That unexpected word made Dawson blush warmly beside me. I thought he'd be embarrassed, but after a few seconds, he awkwardly said, "Can you say it a few more times? So you like this, huh? Husband." I watched his lips curl up in a goofy smile. When I teased him, Dawson immediately got annoyed and threw himself into my arms. After a while, I heard him mutter, "Wife. Why so shy?" I rubbed his fluffy head and lifted his chin. My little puppy. Once the misunderstanding cleared, our life became sweet. But some things still needed settling. Where did you go after you left that day? You didn't answer all night. After that unpleasant night, Dawson left in anger and didn't come home. It worried me a bit. Dawson stiffened hearing this but didn't answer immediately. What, did you do something to hurt me? No way. He jumped up, shouting, full of urgency. I was just feeling bad and stayed up all night gaming. That's his way of coping, haha, still a kid after all. What are you laughing at, Brooks? Are you mocking me? Seeing me smile, Dawson didn't hold back and hugged me tight, rubbing his cheek against mine. Such a spoiled brat. I tapped his forehead lightly, relaxed and smiling. You're actually kind of cute. Cute? No, you gotta say I'm handsome. And you don't know how bad I felt when I saw your divorce message first thing this morning. I thought I wanted to die. I never realized how deep his feelings ran back then. Luckily, we didn't miss our chance. All right. I pushed away his fluffy head and poked his nose. I have to go to work now. 14. I took a week off from my heat cycle and spent that week basically glued to Dawson. I was surrounded by his pheromone scent, obvious to anyone, the alpha's strong possessiveness. Hiss, is he really your little puppy? I looked at the bite marks on my neck in the mirror and scolded the culprit. Sorry, it's your fault for smelling too good. Dawson clung to me like glue. His boldness annoyed me. So it's still my fault? My fault, my fault. Don't be mad, wife. Since then, Dawson's use of wife became more natural. Enough, move aside, I have to go to work. You're going to see Easton. TCH, where do you get those ears? I never mentioned that name. Be reasonable. I'm going to work, not to meet someone. Then you can't let him get close to you. No way, I'm coming with you. Of course, I ignored his nonsense, calmed him down, and left. Honestly, seeing Easton again was awkward, especially knowing his feelings for me. Though I didn't want to mix work and feelings, I instinctively avoided Easton's contact. Boss, are you avoiding me? After work, Easton came straight to me. No, I'm just. Sorry, I didn't realize I was bothering you. The more understanding he was, the worse I felt. But I couldn't accept this relationship. Easton, I never expected you to like me, but I'm married, and I love my alpha very much. Sorry, and thank you for your feelings. Easton smiled with relief. Then a hug isn't too much, right? Just comfort for a secret admirer. His calm attitude eased me too. Of course. After hugging, Easton looked into my eyes and said goodbye. I'm being transferred to North City next month. Brooks, goodbye. 15. It turned out I still underestimated how sharp an alpha's intuition could be. Did Easton hug you? Dawson asked confidently. I felt calm and just told him straight. You even let him hug you. Why are you so jealous? I already rejected him, don't worry. Who knows what's really on his mind? Maybe he did it on purpose, knowing you'd soften. Enough, don't you have dinner with your dad tonight? Go get ready. Since our relationship stabilized, I'd been wanting to meet my father-in-law. Today, I finally found the time. Not gonna lie, I was nervous. No matter what, I wanted to make a good impression on the elders. By the time I got ready, Dawson was already sitting on the couch, playing on his phone. You. His eyes blankly fixed on me, not even waking up when the game said, game over. Is this a bit weird? Trying to look younger, I picked out some casual clothes I rarely wore and let my bangs down. Dawson stared at me with burning eyes. Not weird at all, wife. You look really good like this. On the way there, I sensed Dawson's restless desire and quietly warned him. You have to promise me, after tonight, you have to fulfill all my requests. Dawson raised his eyebrows smugly, enjoying my helpless expression. Unlike what I imagined, Dawson's dad was a very kind alpha. This brat has never been easy to handle. My wife passed away early, and I was busy with work in my younger days. By the time I had time to discipline him, he had already grown up so much. That's why I made him marry early. I wanted him to settle down. Back at home, his father's words echoed in my mind. Brooks, I liked you the moment I saw you. Don't blame this old man for making you marry such a rascal, ha ha ha. Dawson was already in the shower, and I could still hear his smug humming through the door. Before he even dried off, he rushed at me. You promised me, tonight, I can make any request. I frowned looking at his wet hair. You didn't even dry your hair. Waiting for my wife to dry it. Dawson flopped onto my lap and looked up at me. What did that old man say to you? All mysterious. He said you're a troublesome little punk. Am I not obedient? Dawson nearly jumped up, but I held him down by his shoulders. Who said they don't like my type of omega? Ah, that was my bad mouth. Sorry, wife, don't hold on to that. Dawson's hands got a bit restless under my shirt, and in the end, his hair never got dried. We ended up playfully tangled together. I never expected this forced marriage to turn out surprisingly well. Good night, my little alpha.